County Clerk, but he wants the job that Jocelyn Benson currently has right now, Secretary of State. Anthony, Tony Forlini, good to see you.
Good to be here, Charlie. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah.
I love your buttons on your thing. It's very patriotic.
A little simple, very patriotic, a little different.
It's not simple. That's very nice.
You know, it's a Macomb County thing, right?
Is it? Okay.
Like that.
All right.
Right.
I got to change my buttons here.
All right, so first of all, congratulations. Your convention was just a couple days ago, and they decided, yeah, you should be the nominee.
Yeah, it was unanimous. You know, and for a Republican convention, it was pretty calm. It was exciting. It was united. And we got a great team moving forward. I'm really excited about the team, and everybody is experienced and very logical, common sense. We just want to lead our state to be one of the better states in this nation.
Let's talk politics just a little bit here. President Trump, did he endorse you? Do you want his endorsement? Does it help the Republican Party?
Well, he hasn't endorsed me. It's not to say he wouldn't endorse me. And would I accept his endorsement? Sure. I would accept yours, Charlie. We can do it right now. And you endorse me, we're
After
good.
the show, let's see. Let's see. We got to get your opponent on, though, first, though. But is President Trump a big deal? It seems like John James wants the endorsement. Does it help in Michigan to have President Trump's endorsement?
Well, you know, it's good to have the confidence of the President of the United States, right? I mean, if the President of the United States has confidence in you, why is that a bad thing?
Because you need middle-of-the-road voters in a general election.
Well, I'm a middle-of-the-road guy. I just get things done. That's all I care about is getting things done. If the President wants things done, and I'm still the boss when it comes to Macomb County, and when it comes to Michigan, I'd still be the boss when I get things done.
If the President said we're going to have federal troops oversee the elections in Michigan because the President wants it, you'd say no?
Well, why would we have to have federal troops? If he says he wants to come in and give us assistance, you know, it looks like things we can use a little bit more help, and it's done in that vein, and everything's by Michigan law. I've never had any problems with that. I've said it before.
Would you be okay if the feds came into Macomb County?
If the feds came into Macomb County to not oversee it, I oversee it. If they wanted to come in and give us a hand, oversee certain things, make sure things are done by Michigan law, I'm good.
Do you think there's fraud in Macomb County?
You know what? I've done a lot of things. There's always fraud somewhere, Charlie. There's always something somewhere. I mean, I've called it out when I've seen it, and I'll do it again. I have no problem exposing, if there is fraud, exposing it and making sure that we do something about it.
I remember when you first decided to run, you did a press release talking about jury pools and non-citizens on jury pools. Is that true?
It's absolutely true, Charlie. Listen, we stumbled upon it because I'm in charge of the jury room, and I'm also in charge of the QVF. And when I started seeing all these people opting out of jury service because they're non-citizens, this is, wait a minute, if they're over here, could they be over here?
How did a non-citizen get in?
That's my question. That's my question. We had, in the last year and a half, Charlie, over 1,000 non-citizens show up in our jury pool that opted out.
How many?
1,000.
1,000? Non-citizens?
A year and a half.
That's a lot of people.
And 40 of them ended up being in the qualified voter file. 5 of those actually voted.
So whose fault is that?
You know what? Let's not point blame. The system is flawed. The system is flawed and it needs to be fixed.
But if that was the reason that the President said we don't want even those 5, even if it's only 5 people, but still it's 5 people, they shouldn't be voting.
5 people, they should be voting.
If the President said we need the feds to come in and oversight and to make sure that those and no one else that's not a citizen votes, would you'd be okay with that?
Well, listen, I work with the local clerks. I work with the state, and if the federal government wants to give us some assistance on these non-citizens and finding them and helping us sort this out, even the non-citizens would welcome that. And I'll tell you why, because they don't want to break the law. We're putting them in harm's way. We shouldn't be doing that.
They're from a driver's license. They're
from driver's licenses.
So is it the Secretary of State the state is in charge of driver's licenses? You'd be in charge of driver's licenses.
Yes, 100%. And you know, when you check off that box. Did
Benson drop the ball on this?
You know what? She might have. There might have been others too. The system is flawed. It needs to be fixed. When you check that box off, it says, I am not a U.S. citizen. They should not be put in the jury pool, nor should they put in the QVF.
Do you think that the post office should determine whether voters should get mail-in ballots, which was the subject of this Supreme Court case?
Sure. Well, let me just tell you, if you're a postal worker and you've got a ballot in your hand and you go up to a building that's empty, nobody lives there, and yet there's 15 ballots here for that empty building, what should you do with that? They should be
Should
returned.
it be the post office responsibility?
Sure. If you're delivering mail and the person doesn't live there, that mail should be brought back to the clerk.
Do you think Homeland Security should keep a list, a database of who can vote?
I think it would be helpful for all of us clerks if the federal government provided us with a database that says whether a person is a citizen or a non-citizen. It would be very helpful.
Your opponent says that's voter suppression.
How is it voter suppression? It's voter suppression when you allow people in your neighborhood to have their votes watered down because people that aren't supposed to vote are voting. And that's happening.
Can't you do that? The local clerk do that?
We don't know. That's what I'm saying. You give me a database of non-citizens, and I can, that's the problem, Charlie. We have people that self-report out of jury pool. They're telling me they're not citizens. I don't know that unless they tell me.
But don't you think, though, that do you want your data, your personal data, to be given to the feds?
The feds already have it.
Your address, your name. Well,
they have it. The feds don't have my data.
Why do they need a separate database?
So, because I think it's important for us clerks to be able to access that and say, all right, this person's not a citizen. We need to be able to verify it because right now, when we take these non-citizens, we give them to the state, we don't hear anything for a while.
How much of a problem do you think it is in the state of Michigan that non-citizens are voting in Michigan elections?
I think it's a problem if one votes. I think it's a major problem because there's a flaw in the system. What I'm finding out with my small amount of data sets that I have, there's too many filtering through, way too many. When you have 40, when you have 1,000 showing up for jury duty or opting out of jury duty, that's a lot. When you have 40 of them in the qualified voter file, that's way too much. And when you have 5 that voted, now you're talking that's a criminal offense.
So do you think so? But
and we're putting it, and these people may be doing it accidentally, not knowing. That's not good. We're putting them in harm's way.
It seems like the local clerks now, which you were, maybe
I am.
You still are right now.
I am. I'm the county clerk of the third largest county in the state.
Third largest county. It seems like you're giving up control, though. I thought all elections were local.
I'm still the boss. I'm just getting information.
You're going to tell the Homeland Security, no, don't go there.
All the time.
The boss.
All the time. Listen, we are in a position to do what we need to do locally. I'm going to keep voting local. I'm going to keep it in the local hands. I've done it in Macomb County. The county, all that we're looking for is information to help us.
SAVE Act. It's not a law right now, but essentially it says that if you want to vote, you need to have a passport or have a proof of citizenship. You're okay with that?
Well, why wouldn't you be? I want that. And I would think if every person in the state of Michigan that is an American would want to say, I don't want my vote watered down.
Don't you think, though, that some people that don't have a passport, for example, are going to say, I'm not going to vote?
Wait, you don't have to have a passport. That's silly.
Well, something else. But it's more surprising.
Listen, I'm an American. How would you prove? I mean, you're an American. I get to vote. Everybody that's an American gets to vote. I mean, what's the problem with that?
Easy one for you.
It's easy. It's easy for all of us. I think it's insulting to those people that you're saying they can't get an ID. That's insulting.
How do you differ from your opponent?
Well, experience for starters. You know, I'm a county clerk. I've been running elections, and I've been doing it right. I've been doing it fair, and I've been doing it very transparent. I've got that experience. He doesn't. Work ethic. Listen. I showed up 100% of the time. When I was in the legislature over 6 years, 100% of the time I was there. Last year, it's been reported, he only showed up 6% of the time. You want somebody that's going to work hard for you, and that's not political. Everyone knows me in Macomb. I'm not very political. I get along with Democrats, and I get along with Republicans.
Do you think your office should even be partisan?
No, it shouldn't be. Macomb County Clerk, when you're running elections, it shouldn't be partisan. It really shouldn't be.
Is there any movement to eliminate the partisanship?
I don't know if there is, but I'm all for it.
Do you like the fact that you have to get nominated by a convention as opposed to running in a primary?
I would prefer a primary because that's more of a cross-section of the population that we have a regular election. We're appealing to all people, all Americans, all Republicans.
That's right.
And nobody's being eliminated from that process. I like that better.
What about what's your if you decide?
Look at what happened. Let me say this. Look what happened at the Democrat convention. It got hijacked. It was chaos. People were voting all over the state. We saw it happen. I mean, we all saw it live. Democrats were disenfranchised. Democrats within their own system were disenfranchised. That's a problem.
Some people say, well, Well, you say the hijacking. Some people say they took over the party, though. They're energized. And they're energized so much that they're going to go out and they're going to get Republicans.
How can they even prove how their votes went? You had people voting from the Upper Peninsula, reportedly in Petoskey and different places, voting there, but people on the floor of the convention couldn't vote. That's voter suppression.
Do you think that actually is going to help the Republicans?
I think there's a lot of Democrats that are energized because people like me that are not very political, listen, that's all people want. Stay away from politics. Get the job done. Run good elections. Have short lines at the Secretary of State's office, and serve me. That's all I care about.
Anthony Forlini, he's a Republican candidate for Secretary of State. Hold on, we've got more to come. This is the part of the show we want to hear from you. Text us, call us with your questions, 313-765-8844, or read them live on the air. Get them answered. Detroit Talk City back after this break. Welcome back, Detroit Talk City. I'm your host, Charlie Langton. Yes, we want to hear from you. You can text us. You can call us. Same number, 313-765-8844. You can join us in the Zoom room as well. That meeting ID number, 892-4909-0290. Anthony Forlini, Tony Forlini. Forlini is the candidate, Republican candidate for Secretary of State. Want to do a phone call right now? Let's do it. We've got Linda from Southfield. You're on Detroit Talk City. Hello, Linda. Go ahead, Linda.
Yes, I want to be clear. This gentleman wants to be Secretary of State, and I'm asking if he would be okay with the federal government stepping in, led by a president who continues to yell about an election that was stolen, has gone out of his way to suppress voters' rights, who even now tries to block mail-in voting. You would allow them to come in and tell Michiganders how they could and could not vote.
All right, there you go.
Well, thanks, Linda. Yeah, no, I don't think that that's what we're saying at all. What I'm saying is that if the president wants to send people in to help us out with our elections, I'm okay. I also said I'm the boss. We're going to hold it up to Michigan laws, Michigan rules, mail-in voting, whatever it is. Let's just do it right, because what's happening is voter suppression is happening in some of these cities where they're not really paying close attention to the details.
But that's the criticism.
We need to do protocols that are proper, and if protocols aren't being followed according to Michigan law, something needs to be done.
But the idea is that you should do it, not the feds.
Well, that's 100%. I've said that from the start.
Thank you, Linda. Let's take another call. All right, Charlene from Warren. You're on Detroit Talk City. Hello, Charlene.
Hello, Charlie. Would you please ask Mr. Forlini if he is a tried and true election denier, not a worried about elections, not concerned about elections, an actual election denier, because this has torn our country apart.
All right, good question.
I agree with that. You know, all along since I've been the county clerk of Macomb, we have always gone and says, how can we make it better? What are the protocols that need to be changed? How can we do it and eliminate the doubt that people have in our elections? And we've done over 13 different items within Macomb to make our elections believable and transparent.
I know, but I think Charlene wants to know, did President Biden really beat President Trump?
I can't answer that. I can answer what happened.
And what about Michigan? In your county?
Listen, that's not my worry. Everyone wants to trip up people on that whole question. Listen, that was 6 years ago. I wasn't even clerk then.
But people are still asking it, though.
Listen, how come they're not talking about Kennedy versus Nixon? Who won that? People say it was Nixon.
Popular
People say it was Nixon, but you can't keep talking about it. Today is
today.
Well,
you weren't the clerk then,
but
you were the clerk. But you were the clerk. Well, you weren't the clerk then?
No, I wasn't.
Well, no, not then. I mean, and the Trump one. Trump won.
No, I won Listen, I won the 2020 election against an incumbent Democrat. I won that election. He was an incumbent. I beat a Democrat that was in office at the time. He ran the election. I won. Was it a bad election?
It was a fair election. That was fair. Completely fair, right? All right. Let's take another call. Penelope from Detroit. You're on Detroit Talk City. Hello, Penelope.
Greetings. How are you gentlemen doing?
Hey,
Great.
Penelope.
Great.
My question is, How does he feel about the big, beautiful bill or the Save America Act about married women changing their last names? Will they still be able to vote without a passport? Because the majority of us don't have a passport.
There you go.
Yeah, no, listen, Penelope, thanks. You know, there's this misconception that married women cannot. You can go into the databases of the Secretary of State's office, and it'll take you all the way back to the beginning. That doesn't matter. That's a talking point given by the Democrats to scare people like yourself to think that you're not going to be able to vote because you got married and you changed your last name. Not true. It's not true at all.
But a lot more paperwork, though, and a lot more inconvenience.
I don't know if there's a lot of paperwork. We just went through that. You can't get on a plane until you have an enhanced pass or the special star in your corner.
But
listen. Elections are sacred. They need to be by Americans only.
But it would seem to me that you should do more things to get people to vote as opposed to putting the roadblock. At least that's what I think that's what your opponents say.
Yeah, and I understand that. And we want everyone that's eligible to vote, not those that are not eligible to vote.
What do you say to people that don't vote?
They need to vote. I think everybody. Listen, I got 2 daughters, Charlie, that in this past primary, I called them at 7:30. I says, "Did you vote?" "Oh, Dad, I'm in my pajamas." Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I went over there and watched their kids so they can go and vote. Do you like because that's how much I believe in it.
Do you like these absentees voting now? You've got 60 days, I believe it is, to vote by absentee.
Yeah, well, you have 45 days.
45 days.
So the ballots come out
September 20.
I got no problem with absentee voting. That gets a majority of the people. What I don't like is protocols not being followed. When you see these videos of drop boxes of people stuff in the ballot box, that's where the problems end up coming from.
Are they stuffing the ballot box?
Well, you saw videos. You saw videos of that.
All right, hold on. Hold that thought right now. I got to take a break real quick. We have time. We will get to all of your questions. Just let us know. Detroit Talk City will return after this break.
Hell.
Welcome back, Detroit Talk City. I'm your host, Charlie Leighton. Do you have a question for Anthony Forlini? He is the Republican candidate for Michigan's Secretary of State. You can text us or call us, 313-765-8844. You also join the Zoom room if you like, 892-4909-0290. All right, let's get to some phone calls. Are here?
Zoom room, I like that.
We have a Zoom room, yeah.
It sounds like a kid's room.
No, it's a Zoom room. It's very important here. All right, but let's go to the phone right now. William from Detroit. You're on Detroit Talk City. William?
Good afternoon, you guys. How you doing?
Good.
I want to make a statement. What I want to do to the candidate. That voter fraud is a way of suppressing the voters. That's all it is. It's a voter suppression tactic. There hasn't been any proof of voter fraud in Michigan at all. And in fact, if you go across the country, there's very, very minute proof of voter fraud. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
All right. Any comments on voter suppression, that type of thing?
I think when you don't have protocols in place to find the fraud, then you don't know if there's fraud. It's important to put protocols across the board. We have transparency in Macomb County. We actually put our ballots up online. We don't know whose ballots they are, but we can tell you the ballot, the actual image, and how it's scored. That's transparency.
You don't need the feds. Sounds like you got it solved. All right, we've got another call here. Let's take Mary from Warren. You're on Detroit Talk City. Hello, Mary.
Hi, I have a question for Anthony. I'd like to know if I have documents that apparently are falsified in Macomb County through lawyers and such. Macomb County, I'm not quite sure where the breakdown is, but his name is signed to a lot of documents. I want to know, who do I get a hold of to bypass Macomb County if I have an issue?
Are they?
What kind of documents are they?
Yeah.
Mary? We still have Mary? If there's a problem with your documents, it could be a ballot, it could be a mail-in ballot, maybe, perhaps.
Bring them to us. If there's another, I'm not sure who else you would bring them to, your local clerk, or bring it to us. We're happy to look at it and help you with whatever that issue is.
Do they have to go where they live in the county in which they live, though?
That's a good place to start, but if they don't have confidence there, come to our office, and I guess if you don't have confidence in our office, bring it to the state. But you're certainly going to get a hold of us because we answer our phone calls.
Let's take another one here. Chad from Ferndale. You're on Detroit Talk City. Hello, Chad. Do we have Chad? Hello, Chad.
Chad.
Uh-oh, we don't have Chad. Want to try to do a Zoom? Can we do a Zoom question here? Let's do a Zoom question here. Robert from Wyandotte. You're on Detroit Talk City. Let's see if we can get there. There's Robert right there. We'll get Robert in a minute.
Okay.
It takes Wyandotte's a little far from here, so that's why we have to get in there a little
It's
bit.
downriver.
It's not too far.
Signal
It's
should
not too
go-
far.
It's coming uphill to get here.
While we're getting Robert in the Zoom room here, how are you as a Republican going to get votes in Detroit? Is that important to you?
I think it's important. I think it's important that people in Detroit feel comfortable with their elections, because that's where it's all been coming from. A lot of the controversies.
Republicans don't do well in Detroit. They never
Well,
did.
listen, you know what? I'm going to campaign there, and I'm going to look for their vote there.
I got to get this. Who won the 2020 election? Yes or no? Who won it? Who won it? Who won it?
You know what? The 2020 election was won, and the results have been in for a long time. Let's get on to something
You're
else.
getting that question, aren't you?
Yeah.
Anthony Forlini. He's the Republican candidate for Secretary of State. Thank you. All the best. We'll do it again, okay?
Appreciate it. Thanks,
Thank
Charlie.
you. All right, we're going to take a quick break.